Well, I've hooked into something a bit different here. Jesus. Only on 3.5 pound line. I thought I'd hook weed, it was so solid. Oh, it's a pike, for Christ's sake. Oh dear. I obviously had a little fish, and a pike has taken the fish. Okay. Right, what do we do here? Hope he lets go, or try and get him in. He let go. Well, that was probably the best outcome, to be honest, because I didn't fancy my chances getting him in. Well, hi folks, something a bit different for me today. I'm on one of the Fenland drains. Now, I live in Fenland, but I haven't really fished the drains. When we moved up here, which was about 20 years ago now, I thought, well, these look good, they look just like canals, and they're sort of right on the doorstep, but in reality they're not quite like canals, because whereas on a canal you get a lovely towpath, these Fenland drains have very steep banks and very, very reeded along the banks, and in places really quite dangerous. And sort of initial exploration, I sort of ruled them out really. The other thing is often they run alongside busy roads, so they're not actually very peaceful, because you're sitting by a busy road, and often it's difficult to find somewhere to park to fish these things. So anyway, by chance on Facebook a week or so ago, I spotted a post where someone was sort of asking, is there anywhere on the drains that they can fish where the banks are safer and they can park a car, etc, etc. And cut a longer story short, I come up and had a look up here. Now this is the 20-foot drain at March, and far from the madding crowd, as they say, because I'm in the middle of nowhere, right next to a sewage works, so that shows you how far away we are from the town. I've not really fished these drains before, so it's all a new experience for me. I'm sure there are techniques and methods that are preferable for these places, which I probably don't know. So anyway, I won't rabbit on any longer, but the great thing is that this particular stretch, not only is it quiet and peaceful, middle of nowhere, as I say, and I can park the car right near where I'm fishing, but the club have formed steps down to the drain, and not only that, they form platforms at the bottom, so it really is a lot safer. It's still a bit dodgy steps. I've got my walking stick just to help me in case, but yeah, it's looking promising. So as I say, I won't chat anymore. We'll get on fishing, see what happens. Yeah, this is where we are. There's nobody here at the moment. When I came down to have a look at the stretch last week, there were a couple of guys fishing. This is the access arrangements. As I say, the steps have to be a little bit careful, but it's a damn sight better than fishing the bank without the steps and the platform. If you can imagine, just looking either side, that's what most of these fen drains look like, and yeah, very, very challenging. I'm only a couple of spots from the entrance, because my car's got fairly low ground clearance, and although this is a pretty good, what I would call green road, it's still a bit lumpy bumpy, so I haven't gone too far down, but it all looks very similar. In fact, in the first spot I looked at, just to the right of me, there were what certainly looked like tench bubbles coming up, but it was very weedy, and if there are tench in there it would be very challenging, and I guess if there's tench there, which is only about 10 yards along, there's probably tench everywhere. Not that I'm necessarily expecting to catch tench, although I have seen reports of tench caught from here. There are good tench in these drains, there are bream in these drains. They're well renowned for their rudd, although I'm not sure whether this particular drain is specifically good for rudd, but I guess there are roach in here. And of course they are most notably renowned for their pike, and they do have pike matches on the drains in the winter, and it's a very popular destination for pike anglers. So that's a bit of an intro. I'll make my way down. I've got my stick just in case I tumble, because I'm still a little bit unsteady on my feet, and these sort of places are a bit challenging. But it's quite a nice platform down there, and it's gravel, it's not slippery, it should be okay. We'll see how we get on. I've got my Shimano 14 foot, it's actually over 14 foot match rod, and the interesting story about this match rod is that when we first moved up here, and I knew nothing about the area, I saw all these drains which I sort of equated to canals. I thought I need this sort of rod because I didn't really have anything like that to fish canals. And I bought this, and it's really never been used for that intended purpose, because I just haven't fished the damn things. So this is almost, it's after buying it 20 years ago, this is its first introduction to the drains, which is quite amazing really, isn't it? I've also got a float on which is probably a bit too heavy for this fishing, because it was already on the match rod. So we'll see how we go. I'm just going to ascertain the depth. I'll probably fish just off the edge of that floating weed there. Again, perhaps people fish the middle. I don't know what the score is really, but we'll see. Yeah, it's pretty deep. I can just see that float. It's probably about 2 foot below the surface. So yeah, okay. It's a perfect day for fishing this water, because the forecast is for very little wind, although there is a risk of rain after lunch. Yeah, so that will be sort of just on the bottom. We'll start with there, shall we? Yeah, pretty deep, isn't it? Jeez. I've got, again, I don't know how light you should fish, but I've got one of these Drennan hand-tied hooks to nylon, 3.5 pound, and it's one of the red fine wire hooks, obviously for red maggots. So we'll see how all this goes. Oh yeah, we've got something. It's probably, oh, it's a little perch. Why are we not surprised? And it swallowed the hook. Why am I not surprised? Let's get a disgorger out. Smaller disgorger for this hook, I think. Okay. The size of that. Oh dear, tiny little perch. And a majestic swan swims past. Interesting noise from Mr. Swan. It's interesting. This drain is called the 20-foot. I actually live near the 40-foot drain, and also the 16-foot is nearer to me. But as I said in the intro, it's not that easy to find spots to fish on them. Parking being the main problem, getting anywhere near the places. But the designation of these drains, because although this is supposed to be the 20-foot, it looks at least as wide as the 40-foot to me. So I can only guess that the original names go back to, I think it was the 17th century when Dutch engineers were brought over to drain the fens, and probably the original drains were perhaps different to how they look now. I don't know, but there we go. Well, I was just sort of messing about in my bag and to get some bait out, and as I turn around, I have a swan. And I have a swan because just before I turn around, I'd thrown in a little bit of sweet corn and some hemp to see if I could attract some rudd or roach and a few maggots. And obviously I didn't spot it, but the swan was up there somewhere, or probably the one who had swum past earlier, and he came to find out what I'd thrown in. But anyway, he's moved on now. So I've got a bit of corn on now, because obviously there are diddy perch in there, which I don't mind catching big perch. I don't want to catch little tiny things like that. So let's see if we can get anything on corn. As I say, this is all very experimental for me. I'm not used to fishing these drains. There's a slight drift on it, isn't there? Perhaps I should move the shot down and see if I can anchor it on the bottom. Or just hold the rod like this and hold it back. Well, nothing showed much interest in the corn. So I'll go back on maggot and see what happens. I'm pulling up a little bit of sort of fine filament weed on the line, so I think the bottom is probably quite weedy. Yeah, certainly things show interest in the maggots, but it's probably a little perch again. I'm getting bites, but I'm not hooking them, which would tend to indicate they're so small they can't even get this little 16 hook in their mouth. Feels a bit better. It's probably a perch, because they always feel good, don't they? Because they are battling fish. That's a bit better than the last one. Yeah, didn't swallow it either. I think it might have taken it on the way down. Oh, struggle. Show people I don't want to drop you. Oh, jeez. No. Okay, there we go. A little bit bigger. You never know, there may be some big ones coming. Yeah, well, it seems like maggots are only going to attract minuscule perch. They keep swallowing it, and they've got such little mouths, it's really difficult to get the hook out. Tiny little bugger. Yeah, that's another small one, isn't it? It's probably actually, well, that's good news. It's actually a roach, or was it a rod? Difficult to tell, it's so small. But that's a better story than I think that's probably a roach. So there are roach down there. Yeah. I must admit, fish or no fish, this is a lovely little spot. It really is. It has that sort of appeal about it, that being a new water and being a wild fen rather than a sort of a stocked lake, you really don't know what's going to turn up. Probably in my case very little, but there we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, whatever it was, it's come off. There's obviously a lot of weed out there, isn't there? Which is possibly why we're having. Jesus Christ. Almighty great splash over there, and the way the moorhen is complaining. I'm wondering if that's a pike came out and took something. Jeez. Oh, I wasn't watching over there, I don't know, perhaps it was a young chick or something. Oof. Almighty great splash. Well, there we go. I did say there were lots of pike in here. That'll be the next thing when I grab one of my little perch on it and you make short work of this hook length. Literally just turned off the video and I got a bite. And this looks like, I'm afraid we got the noisy planes again. This looks like a little tiny bream, doesn't it? Or perhaps a roach bream hybrid, I don't know. What do you think? Doesn't look pure bream to me. But it is diddy. Absolutely diddy. Where's the hook? Such a small hook, it's difficult to... There we go. Yeah. Yeah, the wind turbines are not very busy today. Just having to walk along a bit. Stretch my legs. Sitting too long is not good for me. Yeah. They all look very similar, these spots. I don't know whether there are hot spots or not, but they all look like they've been raked out, don't they? You've got the weed either side in all cases, and it looks like the swims have been cleared. Not only have there been platforms formed, but they've actually cleared out the weed, which probably goes to show why I'm sort of getting snagged when I go too far off centre. Probably can't see those if I turn the camera up, but it's two RAF jets there in close formation. Well, I say RAF, they could be American, but they use this area a lot for practice. Noisy buggers. That's a guy from the sewage work just come out. They obviously check what's being discharged into the water. Interesting. Oh, something took it as I was reeling it in. Ah, yeah. Little rudlet, I think. Yeah, I think this is going to be what we're going to get today somehow. I think it had already taken it and I didn't even know it was on. These so small fish, it's really difficult to get the hook out. Oh, there we go. Yeah, little tiny one. Well, I've hooked into something a bit different here. Jesus. Only on 3.5 pound line. I thought I'd hook weed, it was so solid. I think oh, it's a pike, for Christ's sake. Oh dear. I obviously had a little fish, and a pike has taken the fish. Okay. Alright, what do we do here? Hope he lets go, or try and get him in. Ah, he let go. Well, that was probably the best outcome, to be honest, because I didn't fancy my chances getting him in. Let's see what he's done to you, shall we? He's not too bad, just a few marks. Yeah, you're a lucky perch. It's right in the corner of the mouth, right? That's it. Yeah, you're lucky, aren't you? Now we know we've got a pike down there. Is it worth carrying on, to be honest? Jesus. Mind you, I think there's a lot of pike in here, so. Yeah, I sort of hooked something and I thought, oh, that's just an ordinary fish. And then all of a sudden it went absolutely solid. And then it started moving. And yeah, well, that explains it, doesn't it? It's a pike. Well, we'll see what happens. Yeah, at first I thought it might be something really good, like a tench, but then I thought, no, a tench doesn't fight like this. It would have been bombing off into the weeds. I don't think the pike really knew that perch was attached to anything, actually. Well, I didn't get to go on quick enough, but I've just had the pike on again, so it's obviously a waste of time at the moment, because everything I hook, the pike gets it. Ah, Jesus. Fell off the hook. Let's see if you're damaged. Oh, it didn't do you any harm. Oh, yes.
Okay, enjoy your afternoon.
I just had the pike on again.
Oh, he's just had a pike, this gentleman.
Well, no, I had a perch, but then I had a pike.
Oh, he had a perch and a pike. Yeah.
Yeah, the pike took the perch.
Oh, right. Okay, enjoy your afternoon.
Thank you. Right, I'm going to call it a day. I had the pike on again, and it's not a big pike, but everything I hook at the moment it seems to be grabbing, so the sort of fishing other than for the pike has really gone dead. So it's 1 o'clock. I was going to stay till about 2, but I don't think it's much point float fishing here with maggots anymore, because as I say, everything I hook the pike takes and then lets go again. But interestingly, the bailiff came along and he was chatting to me, and it seems there's a lot of tension here. There's a lot of good perch in here, but there was another guy then came along, and the two were talking behind me for quite a while, and it seems that feeder fishing seems to be more the way to get the tench, and he's obviously got a special spot just up the way there that he's going to fish, so quite a lot to learn, I think. But he said he's had £3 perch out of here, so they're a good perch in here, which doesn't surprise me. Yeah, so yep, it's a new water, and I'll come again, certainly. It's getting towards the end of summer now, so sort of tench fishing is getting towards the end of its season, I suppose, but I may try and get here again. All that bleeping was my GoPro just turned off because I'm not using it. Yeah, I'll probably come again, and perhaps bring the feeder rod next time, and obviously float fishing here, it's just all small stuff. So right, so thanks for watching as usual, and thanks for the subscribers, and got a lot of looks at the last video, even though I didn't really catch much. But there we go. Yeah, so until the next time, it's bye for now, and cheers.